PSA module supports various functions centered around configurations within the PSA server. One of the first things you want to do is map fields between the Kaseya agents and the PSA configuration fields available within the ConnectWise or Autotask accounts. Simply navigate to the Config Field Mapping tab underneath the PSA server and select New Field Mapping. Select an agent field, a configuration type underneath the PSA server, and a PSA field you'd like to map it to. Hitting the Save button will automatically make it appear below. The fields are presently synchronized whenever the machine discovery is run or the general discovery is run against all PSA servers added to the VSA module. Once your mappings have been created, you can go ahead and flip on over to the machine configurations page, which displays all configurations attached to agents inside of the VSA server. Selecting a few machines within the PSA server and selecting Create Configs allows you to select a configuration type as well as the company that's going to be assigned the configurations once they're created underneath the PSA server. Once the configurations have been created, you can go ahead and flip on over to your ConnectWise server and go to the configuration search page. Running a search should bring up the new configurations that have been created. If you don't see the new configurations, go ahead and click on the Run Discovery button to immediately synchronize the information from your Kaseya PSA back into the PSA server. Opening up the new configuration will display the configuration details, including the status, the owner, the company, as well as the synchronized fields that were brought over from the VSA. Another capability is the ability to delete configurations from Kaseya inside of the PSA server. Simply click on Configuration, navigate down to the Delete Configs button, and select the Save button. This will immediately delete the configuration within the PSA server. Another feature is the ability to bulk update configurations. Presently, you can move configurations from one company to another, as well as change the active and inactive states of those configurations within the PSA server. Please note that any restrictions put on those configurations by the PSA servers will result in an error being thrown. Those errors will be displayed in full detail underneath the application log page inside of the PSA module. Selecting the Orphan Agents page inside of the PSA module allows you to view all Kaseya agents that don't have PSA configurations created. This allows you to select a configuration type as well as the company that should own those configurations and immediately create them within the PSA server. Configurations that are successfully created within the PSA server will automatically disappear. This page will only display Kaseya agents that don't have matching configurations within the PSA server. The application log will display detailed information on the creation of those configurations within the PSA server. Any errors preventing the synchronization of certain fields will be presented here in detailed form so that users can readjust their configurations within the PSA server to allow for those updates to go through. To view the newly created configuration items within your Autotask server, simply run an account search and select the company you created the new configuration items under. Navigate to the Configuration Items tab and expand the type that you created the configuration item as to view the new item within the PSA server. You will notice that fields did not synchronize because required information had not been filled out within the configuration item. Simply filling out the required fields within the PSA server, then rerunning the sync information will actually bring the updates over to the PSA server, even though the configuration item was created previously. All changes or modifications to the values of those fields which are set up and configured to be synchronized between both systems will be posted to the PSA server. no matter when you make changes to those fields or the adjustments. Running discovery or manually synchronizing the field information using the sync field info button underneath the configuration dropdown will automatically bring the modified and updated information back into the PSA server. This concludes the machines walkthrough for the KPSA plugin. For additional support, please reach out to support@devioinc.com.